Okay, let's be honest. When you hear the word pyramid, what's the first thing that pops into your head? It's the stone giants of Giza, right? Of course. But what if I told you that halfway across the world, India has its very own pyramids? Yeah. Hidden for centuries in the country's northeast, these are the tombs of a formidable dynasty that ruled for 600 years. Let's unearth this incredible story together.
So, take a look. These are them. Probably not what you were expecting, right? We're not talking about towering stone triangles, but these massive, beautiful, grass-covered mounds that just dot the landscape of Assam. These are the Moidams, the sacred burial grounds of the Ahom kings and queens. And believe it or not, they're often compared to the wonders of ancient Egypt.
So how exactly do they stack up against their famous Egyptian cousins? Well, on the outside, they couldn't be more different. The Egyptian pyramids are all about stone, sharp angles, reaching for the sky. Mount Doms, on the other hand, are these huge hemispherical mounds made of earth, built over a vault that's hidden deep underground. But here's what's so fascinating. Despite looking totally different, they were built for the exact same reason, to be these eternal palaces for royalty in the afterlife.
Now that name, Moidam, it comes from the Thai language, and it pretty much just means tomb. But, that simple word really doesn't do it justice. Not at all. Each one of these is an engineered marvel, a colossal earthen dome covering a complex chambered vault that was designed to house not just a ruler, but their entire world.
To really get what makes these mounds so special, we've got to talk about the people who built them. And these weren't just any kings. They were the founders of a powerful, incredibly resilient empire that basically shaped the history of Northeast India for centuries. We're talking about the Ahom Dynasty.
And when I say they were around for a while, I mean a long while. The Ahom dynasty ruled for 600 years. 600. From their founder, Sukaphaa, who showed up in 1228, all the way to 1826. And for most of that time, burying their royalty in these grand moidams was the tradition. It only started to change way late in their rule when Hinduism started to become more influential.
So just how powerful were these guys? Well, this number right here tells you everything you need to know. The Ahom kingdom fought off, get this, 17 different invasions by the mighty Mughal Empire. 17. That's a feat very few other powers at the time could ever claim. This wasn't just a kingdom, it was an absolute fortress.
And the beating heart of their spiritual world was a place called Charaideo. It was their very first capital, but it was so much more than that. It was the sacred, symbolic center for all royal burials. It didn't matter if the political capital moved somewhere else. When a king or a queen died, they were brought back to Charaideo to be laid to rest with their ancestors. It was non-negotiable. It was sacred ground.
All right, now for the really cool part. Let's peel back those layers of earth and uncover the incredible engineering and the secrets hidden inside these things. How in the world did the Ahoms build an entire world for the afterlife?
Okay, so if you're looking at a Moidam from the outside, there are a few key things to notice. The giant earthen mound itself, that's called the Gamadam. You'll often see it surrounded by an octagonal brick wall. That shape had some deep cosmic meaning. And right at the very top, there's a small pavilion, a chuchuli, which acted almost like a spiritual gateway for the royal spirit.
But here's the thing. All that stuff on the outside, that's not even the main event. The real genius is completely hidden from view. This cross-section shows the core of the Moidam, a massive, almost cathedral-like underground vault. And this wasn't just some hole in the ground, no way. This was a sophisticated, multi-storied chamber made of brick and stone, engineered to survive forever under the crushing weight of all that earth.
And inside this incredible vault, they placed everything a king would ever need. You got the body in a fancy coffin, the runding, his royal sword, treasures, food, you name it. But in the earliest days, and this is where it gets really intense, they took it to a whole other level. Attendants, servants, and sometimes even queens were sacrificed and buried right there with the king, so they could keep serving him in the next world.
So you're probably wondering, how did these underground rooms survive for hundreds of years without collapsing? Well, a huge part of the secret was this amazing organic super cement they had called Coral. And get this list of ingredients. They used jaggery and black gram for stickiness, fish oil for waterproofing, and lime for strength. It's wild. This was advanced organic chemistry, and it created a mortar so tough it survived centuries of monsoon rains.
And it's that level of ingenuity that makes the Moidams such objects of wonder. They really aren't just tubes. They're this profound testament to the incredible skill of Ahom engineers and artisans.
and they've absolutely earned their comparison to the more famous pyramids of Egypt.
So, for centuries, the Moidams have been this amazing local wonder. But after all this time, their story is finally starting to get the global recognition it deserves. Let's fast forward to today and look at their journey from sacred ground to a protected piece of our shared world history.
First off, the sheer scale of this place is just mind-blowing. We're talking about more than 150 known Moidams scattered all around the Charaideo region. Can you just imagine that? An entire landscape filled with these silent, grass-covered monuments, each one holding the story of a king or a queen.
And then, in a truly landmark moment, in July of 2024, the Charaideo Moidams were officially named a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is a huge deal. It solidifies their place as a monument of outstanding universal value. It puts them right up there with the world's most treasured historical sites.
So why does this matter so much right now? Well, because the Moidams are this unique, unbroken link to a 600-year-old tradition. They're a powerful cultural anchor for the Ahom people of Assam. And now, they're protected as a shared treasure for all of humanity, a story told in earth and stone that will be safe for generations to come.
You know, the story of the Moidams is such a powerful reminder that history is just full of wonders, and so many of them are still hidden in plain sight, just waiting for us to look a little closer. Which leaves us with a pretty fascinating question, doesn't it? What other incredible histories, what other pyramids are still out there, just waiting to be unearthed?